Now, as for Misty, okay, here's what I'm gonna do for Misty. Uh, I'm gonna go through this quickly because in Misty there's this cycle that um, I'm gonna show off actually the beginner cycle. So I'm not gonna do the strats that I would normally do for Misty. Instead, I'm gonna do just yeah, do it like normal. But I'm gonna go through it once pretty fast, and then I'm gonna come back and then show you off like the strats and stuff of Misty. Because your speed depends on the speed of Jack is I don't even know how to say this. It matters basically for the Zeppelins coming up. So I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly. Okay, or not. You don't need to be like insanely fast for this, but this cannon isn't really that hard. There's one. This is one of two cannons in the game. You just have to hear the noise, really. Listen to it. You just tap X for that last one. So yeah, I'm just going through this just to show you like general movement. So for beginner Misty strats, usually you would wait here for a certain amount of time, but we're not going to do that. If you don't trust your movement, like if your movement loses more than a few seconds, I wouldn't recommend that you do this. Or wouldn't recommend that you do the wait strats up there. Instead, you're just going to keep going as normal. Okay. So chances are you're going to be waiting here for a while for this first Zeppelin, which is fine. So I usually like to wait over here. There's a health right here if you need it. You just want to double jump spin for this one. But the spin has to be kind of timed so that you're level with the Zeppelin there. You can wait for this one. It doesn't matter. Whoops. I could have kept going, but yeah, no, you can wait for that one if you want. Either way is fine. This one's kind of out, way out on the side. This is why Misty ends up being kind of slow this way, because that last Zeppelin is kind of out on its own. So we had awkward Zeppelins before we did the other strats, but unless your movement's good in Misty, I wouldn't recommend you do. I would recommend you do these strats instead. And if you missed any one of the first 3 Zeppelins, they should like land on this side of the map here. Whoops. Just know that the Zeppelins move in a cycle. And so you want to go through the cycle, and if you missed any after the cycle, then you want to go back for the Zeppelins that you missed. So I guess I'm not on a timer anymore really, since going fast was for the Zeppelins, and so I wouldn't mess up the cycle for those. So I guess I'll start over now. Okay, now the tutorial part of this. Once you get out of the boat, of course you just roll over here. As a beginner of Misty, I would also recommend that you get these 3 orbs, because there's 8 orbs. There's 4 orbs here, and then there's 4 orbs here. After you get these 4 or these 8, then you want to probably uppercut to get these 3. I don't do that for my runs because I have to make a cycle, and I can get these 3 later. So as for the Muse, I've explained this in other tutorials too, but as for the Muse, after you pass this rock right here is when the Muse starts to move. So if you punch and then roll toward that direction in between these 2 rocks, then you should be able to catch them. And if you haven't caught him by here, you can punch toward the left here and he should be right here. So either way, like yeah, it should be pretty easy to catch him. If you don't catch him, he'll probably be moving up here, or the other option, he'll be moving that way. You can do one of 2 things, honestly. You can leave him be, especially if he goes that way. I would just leave him be, because he'll come back this way. But if he goes up here, you're gonna go up here anyway. So, and then whichever way that this guy is, you want to roll the opposite direction. So this guy's a little bit more to the left, so I want to roll in between him and the rock over here. And then he takes a while to, like, you know, react. Usually he's not in front like that, he's literally waiting for me at this point. But yeah, if you haven't caught the Muse by here, then you can just leave. Don't chase the Muse, because he'll waste your time. Because he'll jump over here and things become complicated. Just leave him for the end. And so there are orbs down here. You fall and get those. And then you want all the eco here. Because, of course, there's orbs in this area. Just 2 orbs there. And then 5 orbs here. Then you want to get on the platform with the blue eco. And of course, if you didn't make it, you want to go back and get the blue eco. Unless you know how to do boosteds pretty well, then you can do a boosted over to that cell and a boosted back over here. But otherwise, just take the platform. And then once you come back, grab this eco again. It'll automatically grab the other one down there. Make sure you get all the scout get the scout fly and the 3 orbs over here. That's pretty important. Should be able to get these orbs with Blue Eco as well. Also, for like no LTS, you usually go around to the right for the Zeppelins, for the Zeppelin cycle, but in Hundo's case, it doesn't matter. You can just high jump up here. You just ground pound up here. Pretty self-explanatory stuff here. Of course, if you're not low on health, you can roll into one of these barrels, and yeah, once you roll into a barrel, you're invulnerable for a couple seconds, so you can just keep rolling and roll through barrels without them hurting you, which is what I actually did when I ran through this the first time. So yeah, as for the cannon, if you look at the top of my cannon and the middle of this circle right here in the arena, the top part of the middle of the arena meets up with the top part of my cannon. And so the first box is over here, so if you listen to the cannon, that's about the first shot. And then there are 4 other shots that you have to make. You just have to move slightly left. Don't move down or up at all, but you should always line up the top of the cannon with the top of this middle circle, like I am right now, and only move left. And it's just a little bit less power each time. And then for the last one, you just tap X, and it'll shoot him. And then once you do that, you can just leave. High jump here, and don't miss that cell. Come over, get these orbs. Yeah. Grab the orbs. Don't do weight strats, because those aren't beginner strats. So grab everything up here. Get the orbs down here. Make sure you get the orbs out of here. Of course, you need them. This is 100%, so you can't miss anything. Then you want to wait for the first Zeppelin, go get the scout fly, then come back to the second Zeppelin, and then double jump, spin down here for the third Zeppelin. If you miss the third Zeppelin, it's not a big deal. He'll actually end up on this side of things anyway. The first 2 Zeppelins will, if you miss one of the first 2, they'll always end up on this side, they'll land on this side. But for the rest of the Zeppelins, they'll be on this side. And then you want to go down this ramp. Well, of course there are Zeppelins to go through here. There's a first Zeppelin around this area, and then come over here. If the second Zeppelin isn't down here already, you can just keep going. And then by the time you come back over here, the Zeppelin will be here, if you haven't gotten them already. Go through this one. And the key on these ramps to not missing any orbs is to hold X the whole time. Don't jump for the first 2 ramps. So this ramp and the ramp on the right, just hold X the whole time and don't jump. And you won't miss any orbs. As for this one, you do have to jump a little bit for the cell. So which is just tapping R1. And then, yeah. If you get the rest of the Zeppelins, the one that you haven't gotten already, and then come through and get the Zeppelin cell. Also, another thing to note, if you do miss one of the first two Zeppelins and you come back here, this is when you want to get the first two Zeppelins. If you've missed one of them, you want to come through that cave after you get the rest of the Zeppelin. If chances are they're actually still in the air, so what you want to do is get these 5 orbs first, since you don't waste time because you can't get any Zeppelins that are in the air. So you might as well get the 5 orbs in this cave, and then you want to get the rest of the Zeppelins if you haven't already. But yeah, you want to go through that cave, get those 5 orbs, and if all the Zeppelins are already gone, you just want to come back here. Grab all the orbs in the circle. Grab the orbs here. Should have all 150 by this point. Uppercut this for the last scout fly. What do weight strats do? Weight strats make it so that the last 3 Zeppelins are put in different places to make your life more convenient, I guess. It just basically makes it so those last 3 Zeppelins are in your way. You don't have to go out of your way to get any of the 3. It's just a faster cycle, really. It doesn't really affect the first 3 Zeppelins as much. Like, if at all. So if you have all the orbs already, you can just punch down here. I don't recommend taking damage there if you have 2 health, because there's a cannon in Sentinel that might cuck you. So yeah. Want to split at boat again?